Hi guys and welcome to my vlog. Today I'm going to talk about a very simple yet effective and powerful principle of cash flow management called pay yourself first. I hope you find this video useful and please don't forget to hit the like button. And let's start with a quote from Robert T. Kiyosaki. He says, making more money will not solve your problems if cash flow management is your problem. Which is so true. For most of us, managing well what we earn is a challenge and not the income itself. And that is where pay yourself first principle can really help. But then, what do we mean by pay yourself first? Well, to me, it's a mentality. A mentality where the goal is to make sure you first invest enough into yourself and for yourself before making any other expense from your income. For a moment, imagine yourself as a business owner who sells a skill. That is how you generate your primary income. But now, in order to grow your business over the next few years, what do you need to do? Well, obviously, you need to invest into yourself and acquire more skills, the skills which are in the demand, right? But honestly, how many of us really think and act like that? Think of ourselves as business owners and focus on growth. Reality is that most of us are too busy with our jobs and are too complacent about our personal growth. If you have watched my previous video about key takeaways from Rich Dad Poor Dad, you might remember that Rich Dad was always focused on increasing assets rather than income. And that is exactly what we all need to do. To look at our skills as our intangible assets and every month take a part of our income and invest into ourselves, into improving our existing skills, acquiring new skills, or following up on our passions. Just because you are not self employed doesn't mean that you don't need to invest into your own growth. The other aspect of pay yourself first principle is to invest for yourself. This is where you need to look at your income generating assets as your employees. The more efficient and productive your assets are, the more you will grow. Remember, assets are things that put money into your pocket, like stocks, bonds, and gold. So, in effect, assets feed back into your income and help you compound. If you have ever heard Warren Buffett talk about his secret of wealth creation, he always mentions compounding. He has even termed compounding as eighth wonder of the world. But the fact is that you really need to experience it to believe it. Okay, so now that we understand what pay yourself first principle is all about, we need to put it into action. This is where most of us often struggle and lack discipline. Even though it sounds simple, it is quite tough to follow. Mostly because of our psychological limitation. Our minds are simply not mapped to handle money like this. We always start with paying our bills and with our expenses before moving on to saving. So let me share how I do it with the hope that it will help you get it right as well. After some initial struggle, I have managed to automate the whole process. The way I do it is by using a savings account as my investment account. Now, this account isn't where my paycheck gets credited or from which I pay my EMIs or monthly bills. This is an account which I use only for making my investments, irrespective of the asset class I am investing into. I don't withdraw money from this account unless I intend to use it for a goal I had set for myself. This is the account which compounds and reinvest what I earn from my investments back into it. And every month as I receive my paycheck, I transfer a fixed percentage of it to my investment savings account. It's automated and all happens without fail. Now, using a separate savings account for investments isn't mandatory, but in my experience has several advantages. First of all, it helps you get disciplined and automate the notion of savings first. As I have said already, pay yourself first is more about mentality than a philosophy or exact science. You need to treat your monthly savings as your first mandatory bill to pay, and having a separate account really helps here. Secondly, this helps you reinvest what you earn from your investments, which is equally important to build wealth using compounding. And finally, to wrap it up, let me put it very simply. It's an approach where you take care of your savings before you start taking care of your expenses. That is all about it. I hope you guys are ready to flip your budgeting approach on its head and excited to chase your dreams by paying yourself first. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time.